Hello, my name is Noor Akila binti Amir, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you guys one of the theory model that we use in a businesses. So please pay your attention until the end of the video. Let's go! So, what is SWOT analysis? A SWOT analysis is a planning framework that a company can use to evaluate the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to a strategic undertaking. SWOT analysis is the most famous tool for analyzing the overall strategy of the business and its environment. Its main objective is to identify strategies that will create a firm, fixed business model that will organize the organization's resources and skills in the best environment requirements. S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. These four elements will be discussed on the next slide. Now, I will explain these four elements one by one, starting from strengths. Strengths describe what an organization excels at and what separates it from the competition. For example, a strong brand, loyal customer base, and unique technology. For weaknesses, weaknesses stop an organization from performing at its optimum level. There are areas where the business needs to improve to remain competitive. For example, high level of debt, a weak brand, and adequate supply of chain. For opportunities, refer to favorable external factors that could give an organization a competitive advantage. For example, an exposure in digital engagement. Also, increasing in export market. And the last one is threats. Threats refer to factors that have the potential to harm an organization. For example, the pandemic, competitive sales, and lifestyle changes that impact consumption. To cut it short, strengths and weaknesses is basically from internal of the company, whereas for the opportunities and threats, it could be from the external environment of the company. Now, in order to construct SWOT analysis, these are several questions that need to be asked in order to list down all these four elements. So by having all these questions can help to guide us to list the strengths of the company, weaknesses, as well as opportunities and threats of the company. Advantages of SWOT analysis. There are three advantages. The first one is simplicity. Using the SWOT framework as an analytical tool does not require technical skills or special training. Essentially, any individual or a team with the right amount of knowledge about a particular object being analyzed can easily perform a SWOT analysis. The same simplicity of using SWOT means that it is inexpensive. An organization can simply task people from its talent pool rather than hiring an external consultant to perform this analytical tool. The simplicity of SWOT also means that it can be performed within a relatively short amount of time. The second one is any company and situation can be applied. One of the advantages of SWOT analysis is its wide applicability across a variety of organizational requirements. For example, aside from providing an overview of the internal and external situation of an entire business, SWOT has also been used to analyze the situation of a particular department or function within the business, a specific project, processes, and practices people or team, resources and capabilities, and geographic market and the target market, among others. The wide applicability of SWOT analysis makes it a staple element in different strategic directives or business planning to include, but not limited to, feasibility studies, strategic planning, marketing strategy, product development, opportunity analysis, and analysis of possible sources of competitive advantages. And the last one is factor identification. The primary advantage of using SWOT analysis is that it allows an organization or its individuals to become familiar of their internal and external situations and factors that are favorable and unfavorable to their goals and objectives. This familiarity equips them with knowledge needed to support decisions or directives. Using the SWOT framework essentially stimulates critical and reflective thinking. This allows an organization or individuals to understand and appreciate where and how they currently stand. This framework also helps in assessing core competency and deficiencies. This video is disadvantages of SWOT analysis. The first one is prone to ambiguity. A key advantage of SWOT analysis is its susceptibility to ambiguity. Performing a SWOT generates a long list of strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities relevant to the object being analyzed. However, the entire framework does not provide any mechanism for ranking the items within the list or determining which of the identified factors have more weight. There is also the problem with the tendency to stir a one-dimensional perspective. Under the SWOT framework, a factor is usually seen as a strength, weaknesses, opportunity, or threat. However, a factor can be both a strength and opportunity or a strength and a weaknesses. An opportunity can also be a threat. The SWOT framework does not provide a mechanism for dealing with overlaps. The last one is tendency to be subjective. Although performing a SWOT does not require technical skills, it is important to emphasize on the fact that this framework should be driven by research and data. However, in experience, individuals have the tendency to rely on questionable data, such as statements or descriptions expressed as generalization. The use of data might also be limited to the inevitable personal or cognitive bias of an individual. Some individuals have the tendency to identify favorable factors, especially if they are analyzing a particular object that fancies their interest. This bias is often reflected on the long list of strengths and opportunities as opposed to the insubstantial list of weaknesses and threats. Because it is simple to use, another disadvantage of SWOT analysis is that it can be quickly designed and performed without critical thinking, thus leading to misrepresentation of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That is all from me. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope that all of you now know what SWOT analysis is all about. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye!
Created using Powtoon.